I want to speak to those who are graduating, and especially who are having bachelor's degrees and above, even diploma and certificate. When we release you on the 18th, we are commissioning you today, releasing you on the 18th. Please go and take a shower. Are we together? Please go and shave. Please go and change your clothes. You're almost stoning me. I'm saying it literally, but also metaphorically. That mindset, ya niokole kagas, niokole credo, I can see some few people smiling, should now end this week. From the end of next week, you are taking charge of your own life. From the end of next week, the typical undergraduate student, diploma student, you should go, probably come back to Rimuru, and we organize a one-day event to train you on how to go for interviews. You might have a series of interviews. Some people are more blessed than others. They go for 2 interviews and get jobs. Some people get employed during their internship. But there are those who actually get a new major called interviewing skills. They will move from one boardroom to another. And did you know, very few tips can get you a job. Some of you have missed jobs because you went with a low neck, a cleavage. When I'm seated there, and was still Reverend Kithinji, if he's chairing, and you come in a skirt that is way above your knee, and heels that look like artwork, and hair that is covering your face, and you want to be my PA, will that work? It won't work. For the men, there are colors that are powerful. When I go for interviews, I went for an interview the other day. I believe I didn't fail the interview. It's only that the better people who are given. I interviewed with PSC for a position of PS. And by the end of the interview, this is what Ambassador Wamoto told me. He said, Professor, you're very intelligent and productive, and you play in the league of PS. If you don't get this job, don't doubt yourself. That's the feedback I got. So when they announced the politicians, I said, it's okay. There's another chance, isn't it? My current job is big also, don't underestimate it. Come on 18th. You will know. So those things we've been taking for granted, the small things that we've been taking for granted, even the color of the suit, even the cloth, the texture of the cloth that you will wear. By the way, it's not sin to borrow a suit as long as it fits you, isn't it? Or a pair of shoes. It is okay. You have to start somewhere, but don't borrow one whose shoulders suggest that they belong to your grandfather, then you inherited them. You must know which colors work. I once went for an interview, I don't want to tell you where, and I was told, this will be a very unique interview. It's a one-man panel. And the first thing he checks is time. If you come 1 minute after the time, he'll interview, but he'll score you 0, regardless of what you score. So I was there 30 minutes earlier. The person also told me, this is a mature man, and he likes navy blue suit and a tie set, red. So just wear that for him and a new white shirt. You can picture that, isn't it? When you greet him with a firm handshake and look him straight into his eyes. You'll have won his heart the first few minutes. When you sit down, make sure you bring a diary, a sizable one. Please don't bring your iPad. He's not tech-savvy. He takes offense when you see people with gadgets. And when you bring your notebook, please pretend you're writing something at some point. True story. The interview went so well. I could see the gentleman literally scoring. He didn't even hide the scores he was scoring. There are things we must know. Are we together? As Christians, we don't need to keep losing from one boardroom to another. We must go. When I went for that interview, the chair of that university council came to apologize to me later. He said, you are the best candidate, but we had to balance a few things here and there. If I say too much, you'll know which university. But it's not better than St. Paul's, so I'm in a better place. While preparing for that interview, I'm just sharing so that you can take tips. I looked at the members. I visited the website. Not visited. I literally studied the website of that institution, from the homepage to the last page that I could get. I looked at the list of the council members and read their profiles, and then went ahead to Google in terms of where they went to school. One of them is a senior bishop of the Deliverance Church, J.B. Masinde. I listened to his sermons, 26 of them, carefully, and wrote notes, knew his favorite verses, knew his favorite moves. And when he engaged with me in the interview, I threw a few verses and a few phrases that he had used in the 26 sermons. The gentleman was overly impressed. How do you prepare? Because an interview is literally a war. The other day we advertised for one position in Rimuru campus for a nurse, and we received 400 applications. All of them qualified. I looked at the HRM and told her, now this is where your trouble starts. One position against 400. How do you shortlist? So we've devised a way of starting people off with a written part of the interview so that a few people can be thrown off. What am I saying? Joseph prepared himself. There is a beard that you cannot wear to an interview. Beards are very good, I have no offense. There is a suit you can't wear to an interview. There is an attitude you can't wear to an interview. Are we together? There are wordings that you can't carry to an interview. There is knowledge that you need to carry in there. When I was preparing for my last interview, I read and read and read. If you give me an exam now about the Kenyan government, I'll score very highly. The Bible says, you prepare the horse, and God does what? Gives you the victory or the success. I want to invite those we are commissioning today to really make sure that the preparation that we have given you, we've only given you hints of what counseling is about. And I'm so proud of the engineer there, and the medical doctor, and the journalist, and many others. We only gave you hints. Now you can be able on your own to delve deeper and make full use of it. St. Paul's University, by all standards, is a great university. You will be sure on 18th, nobody will be in that field having not qualified. Even after Senate approved the list, I personally went through the names one after another, printing one transcript after another, checking and making sure that people have qualified. Because we don't want to dilute the qualifications that the men and women seated here have earned through blood, sweat, and tears, with a few people who probably by mistake have been sneaked in. For those who are coming to graduate, you'll be pleased to know that we have changed our certificates. We have brought the best certificates possible with the highest levels of security. Not that the old ones have been infringed. Nobody, except the printer. Nobody will ever forge a St. Paul's University certificate. So when you receive it, you'll see a few security marks. One of the marks, just walk out of a room like this to a place with infrared, the sun, you'll see the St. Paul's logo come up. But there are like 8 different marks on that certificate to make sure that it's secure. Even the transcripts you'll be receiving from next semester and those graduating, the final transcript, as we call it, also has security marks. When I look at a transcript and a certificate, I will tell whether it is St. Paul's or not. So nobody will duplicate what you have earned through blood, sweat, and tears. But I want to invite you to activate your dreams. I want you to look at the horizon. I don't want you to limit yourself. You can't come so far to get stuck. You can't come all the way and get a Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology and get very nice supervision engineer, then you're not the best counselor in the city of Nakuru. We cannot afford You can't afford to sacrifice all that money and work so hard on the virtual platforms, learn all technologies, attend all those classes, then come out, and 3 years I meet you in the streets and you're still jobless. Please activate your dreams. Don't fear to even change your careers. Don't fear to launch into new careers. Most of you will be between 20 and 30 years. God giving you 100 years, you have 70 more years. You can make adjustments. You can learn new techniques. Sometimes we meet people and as we interact with them, they wonder, so what did you study in school? What we studied in school is intact. But there are many more things that we've studied along the way. If I'm to give you one example, I'm one of the best trainers in this country in matters auditing. And when I go to train board members and council members, those who know me, when they see me on the list, they wonder, why did you put yourself into this trouble? What does a parasitologist have to do with auditing? But let the class begin. And they will realize, wow, a parasitologist can be an auditor. Are we together? We are in a phase where you cannot just go to the market and sell one product. You need to be like that typical hawker at the bus stage in Nakuru. You know the hawkers at the bus stage in Nakuru? This is my way home, so I know. They will sell to you. And even if they don't have it, they will tell you, give me a minute. The Kikuyu ones, isn't it? And they will get you what you wanted, exactly, but at the price they want, isn't it? So don't be so rigid. The world has really shifted.